decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
These days, it feels like there's advice for everything. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. But how do you know what actually works for you? Using trusted resources and talking to live therapists can help you break through the noise. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off the first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
I can't believe what I just heard from Bryan Bulaga, that there's a contest at left tackle. It's over. There's nothing. What did they do today? We'll have Jason Wilde on. I can't believe Bryan Bulaga's buying into this crap about a battle at left tackle. They're looking at the number one pick at one of the guard spots because the big money guy. But we'll see what Bryan. I want to make sure I know his position. I was just listening before JV practice Saturday. And don't forget it. JV practice on Saturday against Seattle. But I'm not Bryan Bulaga. He's going to be in the Packer Hall of Fame. People are amused that I could argue about anything with Bryan Bulaga over offensive line. And I do agree on principle, it seems idiotic. But come on, man. All right, Bryan Bulaga. Did they ever tell you were in a battle at right tackle? Give me the history of that. Because I would have said that was crap, too.
I was never told I was in a battle. I was never told I was in a battle for right tackle.
Remember the Zach Tom battle at right tackle that they told us about?
I did, yeah. I remember that. I remember that battle. And then what? $80 million later, that battle.
Right.
Ended.
It was just garbage.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So this is why I'm saying that I can't say with 100% certainty that Rasheed Walker is the front runner.
100% certainty. It's over. So now you take it.
Okay, you're saying that. That's why I'm saying I can't is because obviously he's been out and not practicing for X amount of weeks. I would imagine he was back today or he's been practicing. But in the meantime, Jordan Morgan has been performing well at the left tackle spot and against the Jets ones. He performed really well against the Colts ones. He performed well. So going against teams ones, he has performed well. And in practice, he has performed well with the opportunities that he's been given. So that's all I could really go off of. But when someone isn't participating in a competition battle and one guy is and one guy's performing well, one person is gaining ground on the other, who we thought was obviously that's Rasheed, the incumbent, that we thought this thing was over a while ago. But Jordan Morgan's been gaining ground, I think. And how much? Obviously, we don't know that.
That would be my question, sir. How much?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I think my question, obviously, Jason was there today. I want to know what the rep count was. If Rasheed practiced, what was the rep count? How many did Jordan Morgan take at left tackle? How many did Rasheed take? What was the split? Left guard, obviously, the guy, that we've paid a lot of money to hasn't been practicing as of late, right? He's been hurt with his back, or he's nursing that. So I would imagine Jordan Morgan is probably taking some reps there, if I'm if I'm not mistaken. So that kind of mixes some things up a little bit for him. He's been bouncing around now, right? He's been playing right guard, he's been playing left guard, he's been playing left tackle, which for him is great, right? Because he's versatile. He can do a bunch of different things, but at the same time, he's trying to win a certain position. And for Rashid, it's great, right? Because he's going, all right, I've been out for a little bit, but now he's getting put to left guard, and I get to jump back in at left tackle. And if I pick up performing the way I was, all is good, and I'm going to slot right back in. So while I think if Rashid jumps back in and performs the way he did it before he got hurt, yeah, I mean, there's no reason why he should not be the starter. I mean, that's how I feel. But it all depends on how he's been performing since he's gotten back from his injury. And that's the biggest thing is performance, and the results are what counts, right? Like the tape doesn't lie. That is the biggest thing. Like the starts that he has and the experience that he has are great. Like I'm all for it. Like that means a lot to me, right? Like that is, to me, that holds a lot of weight. Like how experience in this league, starts in this league, like that does mean a lot. But how you're performing at this given time in a competition battle, that also means a lot, right? Like when you're in the heat of a battle, how you're performing right now, that's what matters to these coaches and the GM and the guys that are evaluating it. So that's the question. I can't answer that, right? I'm not looking. Rashid hasn't been on the field in preseason games for me to even look at that, right? I haven't even been. I mean, I looked at Jordan Morgan play. He's been playing good. So that's really all I can take away from it. But I'm with you that if Rashid is playing the way he normally does, I see no reason why he wouldn't be the starter at left tackle. So I agree with you on that. Is that 100%? I cannot give you 100% on that.
All right, let's go on. If Rasheed Walker is healthy, he's the starter at left tackle.
Healthy and performing the way he always does.
Right, but they know what he can perform. This JV stuff and the insignificant training camp, which you have talked about, they know what he can play.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, the preseason games are the JV stuff, but like you got to remember, like Jordan Morgan, like he went against the Jets ones, he went against the Colts ones in the game. Like those were, and he did all the joint practices were against the ones, and obviously the Seahawks is against the ones. So like, yeah. So like those are the things that like we do have to take into account, right? Like I mean, those were. Yeah, all I feel much better about him. I think he's the perfect sixth guy because he can fill in at a guard spot. It might be that he could fill out in any position but center. Yeah. No, listen.
And Walker's done. This is his last year. They're moving on to Morgan next year at left tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything came out of this, right? Like no matter what, right? If Morgan doesn't win the job, but what we got out of this was Jordan Morgan has taken a giant step in training camp this year. I think that's what we can say has come out of this training camp is he has taken a very big step of his development and how he's performing. And you've seen it in the preseason games and everything. Like it's very positive to see how he's coming along in his development. So like, to me, that is a very good sign, right? And I'm sure Goody's very happy about that too, right? Like, because obviously we remember family night. You were on family night and how it wasn't that good, and then the Jets came in and he performed really well against the Jets ones, and that's like okay, all right, he's going to be all right. And then he performed well the next week, and we'll see how he did against the Seahawks, or if Jason was able to get a peek, and then obviously the game we'll be able to see that, but. It's good that he's, taking a step forward. But, I mean, I'm with you on Rashid. If he's back healthy, performing like he does, yeah, I mean, he should be the guy.
And the overall thing, based on what you said, I will agree with you on this and that. There's a confidence about the offensive line that's as good as it's been for a while. What's the weakest spot? Do you have any concern of any of the starters in the offensive line?
Oh, the starters? Yeah. Not well. I mean, I guess my concern right now is Banks is back. right? Like he hasn't been able to practice. I really don't know. I mean, first of all, like obviously he's a high-priced guy. He's valued a lot. He's thought highly of. I don't know much about him as a player, so like it's hard for me to, say anything about him as a player until he starts getting going in the regular season. I could watch him, but he's going to be relied upon a lot, and he just hasn't been able to at this point, get a bunch of reps in practice because of his back. So the thing is, like, if he is kind of in and out early on, it's who's stepping into that left guard spot. And then say Jordan Morgan steps into that left guard spot.
We know he's stepping in. I'll help you on that one. He's the guy.
Okay. So he steps into that spot. All of a sudden, right? Like, so this is where things get, like, to me, get a little iffy, right? Like you use up your sixth man, and now we're looking at what if something happens to Elton? You move Sean Ryan to center, who goes to right guard? Well, is it Belton? Well, Belton's only been playing right tackle. So now you're mixing and matching and moving, and it's just one of those things that I feel good about. Six guys, probably seven if Belton, obviously he had his mistakes in Indy, but I think he's going to be a guy that he's going to be fine. I think, he just needs a little more. He just needs some time. I think he'll be fine.
And I would ask you on the teams that you were on, how deep do you ever go?
I mean, 6 to 7
before you go.
6 to 7
before
you feel good about.
Yeah.
6 to 7, but at the same time, right?
I'm listening on this.
At the same time, when if you get down to your seventh guy, right? So that means you got 2 starters out. You're hoping that it's in positions where you can potentially cover them, and they're like for like swaps, right? So that, like, all right, you lost a tackle, you plug in a tackle, you lost a guard, you plug in a guard, and you can protect those guys, and you're not mixing guys around now, right? So you're pulling one out, moving another one, moving another guy. That's kind of what would have to happen with this line, right? Like if guys start getting nicked up, they got to start moving guys from original positions to new positions, and that always complicates things a little bit, right? Like that's always the thing. And when we were going, or when it was like my line, like I continue to say, like it's Goody's going about the way he's building his O-line's different than the way Ted used to do it. We were very position specific. We were very, specialists in what we did. Yeah, the guards could maybe play both sides, but the tackles were tackles, mostly left.
So if somebody got hurt, then there was a backup at that position. It wasn't, all right, move this guy here. All right. So like in your days, Jordan Morgan this year would have been the backup left tackle or
the right tackle. He'd been the backup left or right tackle.
Okay.
And that's what he would have been doing.
Backup tackle. All right.
Yeah. And that would have been it. Like that was my rookie year. I was the backup left tackle, and then Tausch got hurt. Well, you're going to play right tackle. And I had never played right tackle, but hey, you're going to play right tackle. So like that's kind of the way it was. Goody likes a little more versatility for guys to be mixed and matched. Is there a positive to that? Yeah, there is. But there's also some downsides of that where guys are now moving multiple positions, and it messes with some continuity a little bit. And that's the part where if you start to lose guys, it complicates things a little bit.
Yeah, you bring more to it. I just go by who's good.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're the ability to for the best example is right now. If Morgan's a starter, it could be left tackle, left guard. And he's the first guy at either one of those spots. And as you said, based on how he's played, that's a really nice position to have, to have someone like that.
Absolutely.
That's why I think the number one issue of this training camp has been his play. So to me, I would say they have 6 starters.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did you have 6 starters when you were playing? Did you have a 6th person that you said? Or did that vary from year to year?
It varied from year to year. Like, I mean, there were times where guys that started a lot of games were backups. Like Don Barclay was a backup. He started a lot of games. Marshall Newhouse was a backup. He started a bunch of games.
Yes.
Evan Dietrich Smith was a backup. He started a bunch of games. So, like, we had guys that
right. So
were
they started,
starters.
but I don't know that you would think of or would have thought of all of them as a six. And part of that is the ability to play different positions.
Yeah, I mean,
adds to that.
Yeah, I mean, like you would look at probably like Dietrich as a guard center. Donnie was more of a tackle, right? Donnie was
because I would look at any of those backups and say if he could go on some other team and start. Not every team. That guy could go on some other team to start. How many guys do you have as backups where you would say that about them? I'm guessing not that many.
Not a ton.
Yeah,
not a ton. That's normally not a luxury a bunch of teams have, because normally they end up starters and they get paid somewhere. That's normally how that works. But it's how you develop the young guys like Belton. Right, like it's how does Belton develop, and is he able to get better essentially on the job, right, as a rookie and learn and grow as he's not hope. I mean, I'm not saying I hope he doesn't start, but like he gets to watch and learn, right, like and develop at the same time. He gets to see how things go. He's developing. He's getting better, so that if his number's called, he's ready to go, right? Like that's what you hope for young guys, that they're learning on the job, right? And that's kind of why you love having six. You love having six, and then you're seven, and then 8 is kind of going to be what it's going to be, right? Like that's just life. Fortunately, like my rookie year, like we were very fortunate. It was like I was the sixth guy, then we had TJ Lang and we had Jason Spitz. Like we had a bunch of guys. Like we had a really good bunch of players on the as backups. Like I mean, we had a really good backup line. It was just kind of a luxury at the time that we had a bunch of young guys, and we were all backups, and we had a veteran group. So it's just the way it pans out. This group, they're younger, and young guys have to learn, and they got to be able to learn on the fly, and that's something that I hope this group's able to do if guys are missing time and they're taking more reps in practice and stepping up and doing what they need to do.
I know what people listening are thinking or watching. Come on, Homer, get to the break. I want Wilde and Bulaga. I want to know what Wilde says about the starter at left tackle. Well, you'll get it next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Westbound 94, we had an earlier vehicle fire right about at Highway F in Waukesha County. They were able to get that cleared out of the way, but those delays are still sticking around. Basically, it's going to be backed up from Highway 100 all the way out to Highway F. On the eastbound side, delays from Highway 16 past Highway F, and then you're back on the brakes from 92nd Street past an accident at 70th Street off on the right shoulder, and stays kind of heavy all the way to 35th. Southbound 43's got some backups from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 80. Today's forecast, sunny skies and a winning shine. Get your first car wash free at TsunamiExpress.com, just in time for game day. Tsunami Express. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, heated rivals go head-to-head.
Kyle Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
The Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets.
It's out of here! Juan Soto stops and celebrates.
Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Milwaukee starts at 5 p.m. on 94.5 ESPN and always streaming on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Soak up summer days at the ballpark while they're still here. Be here when the Brewers host the Giants, August 22nd through the 24th. Lead off the weekend with Stranger Things theme night arriving Friday the 22nd. From there, collect a legendary Bob Uecker golf umbrella giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 23rd. And if this series couldn't get any better, it's the return of Willie Adames to American Family Field. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Jason William, Bryan Bulaga are really good, but Surfside leads off.
That's right. I want to talk to you about my friends at Surfside. Summer's heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Why I like Surfside so much? Well, the variety of flavors. My favorite, the half tea, half lemonade, peach tea, raspberry lemonade. There's so many good flavors. And this drink is just cleaner than the rest. It doesn't make your mouth feel all nasty after you have a few sips like all the other drinks you see on the shelf. Trust me, you're going to love this one. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
And he is always introduced by the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm great. How did it feel like you got your fight afternoon in, your fight night? Like, did you feel good? Did you place any bets in about who'd win, and did you walk away victorious?
Yeah, I took a cheap shot on Domofsky just for good measure. Look, I've certainly seen my share of training camp fights, not from you, of course. You're a pacifist, but yes. I've seen my share of them, and this one ranks up there. Like, there was one where I think you were. I think this was during your time. You probably remember this. I remember running around like swinging his helmet, like he was going to go beat somebody down with his helmet. I remember that. I don't remember who he was chasing after, but I remember that. Oh yeah. So that's the only other one that I could think of that rose to what I saw today. Like, they were punching it up, man. Like it was, Zach Tom was throwing some serious punches. By the way, I love the fact that fans can take video, but we can't. So then I just find fan video and then reshare it, right? Because this was good stuff. Messiah Swinson was involved with both. LaFleur eventually kicked Zach Tom out of practice along with Elton Jenkins, who got kicked out of a practice in Cincinnati a couple of years ago for fighting. But what I thought was really interesting was then at the end, after practice was over, there were more words being exchanged between Elton Jenkins and a couple of players for the Seahawks. And then there was some sort of exchange involving Nate Hobbs and a couple of other Seahawks players. Like, it was just, like, I thought it was safe to leave, so I was going over because I wanted to talk to Mike McDonald and Sam, the quarterback. Why am I blanking on his name? Sam Darnold. Yeah, and so I was like, all of a sudden there were people saying, hey, yeah, there's another fight. I'm like, wait a minute, practice ended like 6 minutes ago. What do you mean there's another fight? And there weren't the haymakers being thrown, but like the second one, we obviously, there's a big chain link fence at the end of the field, right? But the end by the rec center, it went all the way to the fence. Like those folks it was like they had good seats at a UFC fight or something. So
yeah,
it was more than I was expecting. And Keyshawn Nixon, I think, had my favorite line of the day. He said that this is what happens at joint practices, and he was actually shocked that they went through the Colts practice without one. Like that's the more, he basically said that's the more interesting story, is that we actually had a joint practice already this year, and there wasn't a fight. But this was better than, I think you were there. Yeah, you were there in 19 too. There was a safety that laid out Jace Sternberger on day 2 of practices, and that one got pretty heavy too. But watching Zach Tom throwing punches, claiming he was doing it with an open fist, I'm gonna have to break down the film though, because it sure didn't look like that. But maybe. But you're trying to hit the guy in the helmet, he said, and I'm not sure how effective he was.
So 2 guys got kicked out. How early in the practice did those guys get kicked out? So did they get any work in at all?
Yeah, they got a bunch of work in. It was the
Okay.
I'm gonna throw my guy under the bus. So we're going into the last segment of Wilde and Tausch, and Tausch left early. He had to get somewhere, so we're gonna only have about 30 seconds left of the show. And while we're in the commercial break, so 11:58 is when the first fight was. So They got plenty of work, but it is funny that it happened literally as we were going off the air, and then it was probably another 2 or 3 plays, and then they did it again. And then look, and again, this is not the end all be all of anything. I totally get that. But as a result of getting a little too frisky, so the Packers ran their 2-minute drill without 2 of their starting offensive linemen, right? They didn't have Zach Tom, and they didn't have Elton Jenkins. And so, that's not, you want to get good work. I'm sure if there's anything that LaFleur's irritated about, it's probably that.
Yep. How did the offense look, besides the fighting, right? How did the offense look against the Seahawks in the joint session? Did it with the backup quarterback? Obviously, Jordan Love didn't take any of those reps. He only did 77. How did the offense look?
Not great. There were a couple of big time plays by Luke Musgrave, which is good, right? I mean, I had literally been saying to Tausch had asked earlier in the show what kind of camp Musgrave had, and I said largely quiet. He had a really loud day today. He had a couple of really big-time catches, so that was encouraging, especially since I still think they're going to have to run more 2 tight ends with all these injuries at wide receiver entering the season. But otherwise, and you mentioned the 7-on-7, Jordan Love, I want to thank, first of all, the Packers and the Seahawks, because I do the show from the far north end of the field, so I'm not in everybody's business trying to do the radio show. And everything happened by me. Like, that never happens. Like, always, all the cool stuff is happening at the other end of the field. And so Jordan Love did the red zone 7-on-7 right in front of me, and he was 3 for 12. He had 2 touchdowns and then a completion on a crosser out of the backfield to Josh Jacobs. Otherwise, I think 4 or 5 of his incompletions were broken up. A couple of others he just missed. So it was not, Matt LaFleur wanted him to get a period in, and so they did 7-on-7, but the Seahawks had his number for sure for that.
Yeah. I mean, was he still wearing – he wasn't wearing a cast, was he still, or does he still have a pretty protective, like a brace on or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a brace, and so he gets the stitches out on Saturday, and then he can start working on range of motion stuff and gripping a ball soon. Like, instead of having the ball snapped to him, and they did away with the stool that they were using. So what they did for the snap was he just had the ball right away, and then the equipment guy moved the ball to simulate the snap. So, again, it's not perfect, but it works. And he had, again, I know Matt LaFleur wanted him to get the work. I took a lot of grief from Tausch for suggesting that the juice was not worth the squeeze. I don't know. I guess you learn from your mistakes. So if you have a 3 for 12 performance, there's value in that too. But it was not pretty. That's for sure.
In the left tackle battle today, what did Rashid practice?
Oh, he did. He did.
Okay.
And he was at left tackle. But this is. I was even asking Zach Tom about this after we got done talking about the fighting, because. So Rashid's back now. He's in 11-on-11. The groin is better. He was in there on Tuesday. Unfortunately now, Aaron Banks is back out with a back issue. So even once again, the entire day for Jordan Morgan was spent at left guard.
Yep.
So here we are, another week of not getting a whole lot accomplished in terms of the actual competition, and I just don't understand, how they're going to judge this, because
Walker's got the job. It's over. This is done. It's just
always got to do that, don't you?
Well, no, because it is. He can end up being a starter guard. Walker's starting unless he's hurt, right?
Well, so Brian, I know that you and Tausch, while I was watching the girls golf yesterday, we're talking about this, that, you've got Jacob Monk. Where exactly does he fit? I think they've got a depth problem beyond just Jacob Monk, right? I mean, they got they've got Anthony Belton, who I'm not sure he's ready to play in the NFL. Like, he's not like a ready-made rookie, and I'm still not convinced that he'd be effective as a guard. So The question that we've been bandying about, I know you've been part of this conversation, is, well, is it fair to Jordan Morgan if he has had the best camp, and he's been really good in the 2 preseason games? There's no denying that. But is it fair to him to not give him the left tackle job simply because he's more versatile than Sheed, and Sheed is basically a tackle, and that's it? So can you really say, well, yeah, you had a better camp, and Sheed missed all that time, but we're going to start Sheed at left tackle because he's not as versatile as you. Now, obviously the other part of that equation is Rasheed Walker has started 35 National Football League games at left tackle. Jordan Morgan has not. So I don't care. That's great that he's played 61 snaps or whatever it is, and he hasn't allowed a sack or a pressure or all that. That's great. And the guy he went against, Latu, for Indianapolis, is a good player. So that's not for nothing.
Yep.
But again, I just, to me, and to Homer's point, even though he's always premature on this sort of stuff, I feel like it's got to be Rasheed, even though had they both practiced fully all camp long, I'm not sure that would be the result.
Yeah, at this point, with how they're doing it, they're almost, with them only letting Jordan Morgan take left guard reps, they're essentially telling us what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else they're like. You know, it's obviously a joint practice. You want to get that good work in. We were just talking about how, you know, you're missing 2 other starters then by the end of practice because they got booted. But, like, they didn't even, like, the times that Sheed would come out, like, I thought maybe they'd move Morgan to left tackle with the 2s so he'd get reps there. But he just came out, too.
Yeah.
And they put Kadeem Telford at left tackle. So, again, I like their top 6. They're 6.5 of Belton. I don't think the plan is for him to play right away. I think the hope is give him kind of one of those redshirt years that a lot of their offensive linemen have taken, and then he's ready to be one of your starters next year. Maybe left tackle, maybe at a guard spot when Sean Ryan and Sheed both leave in free agency most likely. But right now, like, they are, and Banks is back. You know this. Like, you never know when back stuff flares up. You don't know how long it's going to knock you down either. So, you know, I don't like their offensive line depth. The fact that they're missing Travis Glover, who's been put on IR after having shoulder surgery, and he struggled as much as he did in that playoff game against Philly, and the fact that they're not having him is actually detrimental tells you how not very good their depth is.
Might they also just be getting Jordan Moore? He's your left tackle next year. I mean, I got a better chance of signing a deal after this year with the Packers than Rasheed Walker. It's done. It's over. Now you're going to have Jordan Morgan. He's going to be that much. Unless
you want Jordan Morgan to be your right guard, and you decide that Anthony Belton can be your left tackle, or Anthony Belton can be your right tackle, Jordan Morgan can be your left tackle, and Zach Tom can be your center because you move on from Elton because you don't want to pay him $25 million. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces for next year. And, you know, I always refer back to Domofsky saying there's a couple people in the building who think Zach Tom could be a Hall of Fame center. Well, maybe that ends up being the case, and neither Jacob Monk nor Elton Jenkins are their starting center next year. But let's worry
Hold
about
on,
this
Jason.
year.
Would you actually consider moving your right tackle to center? I mean, can you ever remember that in all your years?
Yeah, I say this to Bryan, not cheapening how important right tackle is, because it's really important, especially in today's game where it's much more important than it was given credit for back when, like, Tausch was starting out. But I also think that center is incredibly undervalued, and, you know, Bryan played with 2 really good ones. He played with Scotty Wells, and then he played with Corey Linsley. And when you have a really, really good center, they're worth their weight in gold. And that's why the Chiefs gave Creed Humphrey $50 million guaranteed. Like, this narrative of, oh, well, you know, Elton's overpaid because he's being paid guard money at center. The centers are starting to get paid too if they're really good. And if you have to move Zach Tom there because that's the best thing for your best 5, I don't think that that's necessarily a terrible idea just because of the pay scale.
All right. Doctor, do you have a final question for him? Because we're running late, but we'll run even later.
Bryan, am I wrong to suggest that for next year? Is that outlandish to suggest?
I believe it's outlandish, yes.
It's only if you have suitable replacements at tackle. Like, that's really, I mean, if you're taking a whim on who can play left and right tackle, then I mean you would assume Morgan would go to left, but if you're taking a whim on right tackle, no, you can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. I mean,
but you drafted Belton in the 2nd round. He is not a 6th round pick. Like, you pick a guy in the 2nd round, your intention is for him to start.
Yes, I agree.
And maybe that's a guard. Maybe he becomes, you know, the world's biggest guard. But again,
I'll join that.
Let's focus on this year. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Long way away. Just before you go, how did the defense look just before you go against the Seahawks offense? Did they have a good day?
They did. I got to watch some of them. I did not spend my entire time with them, but yeah, they had at the 2-minute drill they had a pick against Darnold. Evan Williams picked them off. Jackson Smith and Jigba, though, he's good. He's really good. So they had their. I think the defense had a strong day. I don't think it was as dominant as it was against Indy, though.
And that guy was a flash early on, the high draft pick. I don't remember his name because I don't feel like I have to know it because I'm questioning whether he makes the team even.
Isaiah Simmons is who you're referring to. I don't know. He's still the number one with Bo Melton on the outside on punt coverage, and he's been there like the whole time. I think there's a chance they're keeping him for special teams and crossing their fingers that things can start to make sense to him and he can be productive. If it costs Christian Welch a roster spot again, like it did last year, and Goody had to get up there about another Iowa guy and say, yeah, he deserved to be on the team, and we cut him anyway. If I'm Christian Welch, I will be less than pleased.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. You just go to ESPN and Wisconsin app, and you can spend most of your day listening to all the appearances by Jason Wilde. One quick note. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Davidson Park for Media Day at Rev and Rumble, presented by the Harley-Davidson Foundation. Jim and Molly from ESPN Madison will kick things off 2 to 5, and then the Homer Hour broadcasting live on site from 5 to 6. Come say hi, check out the park, and meet some of the amateur boxers before they step into the ring on fight night. I have experience practicing against a very good amateur boxer. You don't want to do it. Then make sure you're back on Saturday for the free Rev and Rumble Boxing Night with fighters from across the Midwest, food trucks, drinks, family fun, and more, all happening from 3 to 8. Get the details at revandrumble.com. That's revandrumble.com. See you tomorrow at Davidson Park.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Big delays on southbound 41 coming in from about Good Hope Road all the way down to about Capitol Drive. The northbound side heavy from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, watch for delays from North Avenue down through the Marquette interchange to the KK River crossing. Northbound slowing down from north of Lincoln all the way up and over the high rise all the way to Locust. And then now that fire has been picked up at Highway F on 94 westbound, we do still have delays coming from the county line all the way out to about Highway F. And then on the eastbound side, some pockets of heavy traffic from Highway 16 through the Barker Road area, and then back on the brakes from 92nd Street through to about 35th. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mainly clear, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 80. Weather is brought to you by The Pickler, Menominee Falls, opening August 16th. Founder memberships sold out, but you can still grab the next best deal now through the grand opening, August 23rd at thepickler.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to Time Magazine, Gen Z is drinking 20% less alcohol than all previous generations. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Over our 65 years in business, we've stayed up on all the trends, where you'll always find 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. We now also stock over 100 varieties and growing of THCA, CBD, and Delta-9 non-alcoholic specialty-infused drinks. So whether you're experimenting with the latest wellness trend, or you just want something in your fridge that your college kid can call you cool for, come check out our expansive selection. And while you're at it, you do deserve that bottle of bourbon. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
And visit us online at discountliquorinc.com.
Some are calling it the 1,000-year storm. Recent flooding has affected everyone in our community. At the Ewald Automotive Group, we'd like to help. Our entire team is ready to do what we can to get you back on the road. Now through Labor Day, we're offering $1,000 in flood assistance toward any used vehicle at any Ewald location. For over 60 years, we've been part of this great community, and we'll get through this how we always have, together. Visit us at ewaldauto.com. See dealer for details. Expires September 2nd.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. By choosing them, you're choosing a center focused on providing specialized care tailored to your needs. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free.
And their prices are more affordable than urgent care or the ER. And they'll send a full report to your primary care doctor. Why wait at the ER? Walk in to Ortho ASAP for faster, more affordable care.
Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com. That's orthowisconsin.com.
For the first time, you can stream all of ESPN all in one place. And guys, it's changed the game for me personally. All the best live sports, the most championship moments, studio shows, documentaries, and originals, too many to even name them all. Plus, all these great new features, like watching 4 games at once in multi-view, your fantasy team updates live in-game, Sports Center customized just for you. They thought of everything to make this the ultimate destination for fans. You gotta check it out. Sign up for the all-new ESPN app, like right now.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tell everybody about Fisco Auto Body. Remember, family business. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin, so that you'll have your auto body place forever. And then you'll thank me. It's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And the family is still doing it. So imagine the age at which Fisco start learning this stuff. That's how they can be so good when they work on your car. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. That's how I can say, and they do expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. A family business, and the family's still doing it. Next generation, I'll have to check. Fisco, 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 to remember the name. It is the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, the doctor of football, discussing with Jason Wilde. And we now have a discount liquor Twitter poll question that Pebble wanted to put one way, and I wanted another. And now we can't have Bryan Bulaga, excuse me, vote.
So the question, our discount liquor Twitter poll question of the day at the Homer Hour on X/Twitter. You can also check it out at ESPN Milwaukee and X/Twitter. The poll question that Homer wanted to do, which we put up, will Zach Tom ever play center for the Green Bay Packers? Yes or no? I wanted to put, will Zach Tom ever be the starting center for the Green Bay Packers? Yes or no?
And I wanted it to be ever play center because I want everybody to know the degree to which I think is just garbage.
And I said he could play center if there was an injury or something like that. He could just pop in there and play center, so that would be a yes then. So,
and I want to say I've said that because of what the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, has taught me about the growing importance of right tackle, where it used to be left tackle and right tackle, and I'm not so sure they aren't even really close to being even, judging by the money. And there's no way. He's too good to move. There's only one other place where they could put Zach Tom, in my humble opinion. Left tackle.
Yep.
But I will defer to you.
I'm saying, will he ever play center?
That's right.
Like, will he ever play center?
I say no.
Yeah, I'm saying no too, because I just don't like. I understand Jason's I understand where he's coming from, but like, I still grasp if you have a tackle that's that good, putting him at center. Like, it still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you have a really good tackle and you paid him tackle money, you leave him at tackle. Like, and that's it doesn't make any sense.
I would give you one exception. If he decides he wants to play center at 40 or whatever, when his tackle days are over, I would say Zach Tom is good enough that he could create a second career, if healthy, at center. But only second career.
Yeah, as he gets older, I mean, I get, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always possible, but it's just like you look at all like the great tackles and the guys that are really good at it. No organization even thinks about moving them to center. Like, it's not even a thought. Like, it's not even like it's not even a think twice about it. Like you're looking at let's look at like some of the good tackles throughout.
You might do it only if the person really sucks at tackle, right?
Yes, exactly. Like look at like the really good ones around the league. Like Tunsil. With the Redskin or Commander, sorry, oops, slip.
Maybe not. Maybe not. You're just warming up for the near future. Nicely done.
Maybe not. Let's put Tunsil at center. No. Trent Williams, let's put him at center. No. Like, it's just never going to happen. Like, you're not putting those guys at center. They play tackle for a reason because they're really good at it. Like, and you just leave them there. You just let them play. And then you figure out the other positions, right? Like if you can't find a center, that means you need to go out and get one. That's all that means.
Yes.
You need to go find a center, whether that's in the draft or whether that's free agency or you need to cross-train someone. If you are that desperate for a center at the end of this year, right? Like if you're saying we're moving on from Elton, which I don't know why you would, but say you do, then you better bring Sean Ryan back and plug him in at center. That's all I'm saying. Like if you're that, like we don't know what we're going to do at center, but we need to let Elton go. But we're thinking about doing this. No. You better just bring Sean Ryan back and put him at center because you already work him there enough. So let's not change everything to find a center. Let's not recreate the wheel here. Like let's settle down, everyone. I don't know who quoted it as. I would like to know the person that said. I want to know Rob's source of who said he would be a Hall of Fame
Well, he must
center.
have shown some skill, or has a skill that would make him a great center. And I will ask what that skill might be of Brian Bulaga next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. On this show, it's always football season.
As a young player, what you're trying to do is you're trying to stack success. And you're trying to stack that because that gives you more opportunities to get more opportunities. And he earned that.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This is what we're talking about. And then you get the injury report, and you just can't catch a break. And that same thing is happening on steroids to Lloyd.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Baseball is back. Brian Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Soak up summer days at the ballpark while they're still here. Be here when the Brewers host the Giants, August 22nd through the 24th. Lead off the weekend with Stranger Things theme night arriving Friday the 22nd. From there, collect a legendary Bob Uecker golf umbrella giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 23rd. And if this series couldn't get any better, it's the return of Willie Adames to American Family Field. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Joint pain makes it hard to enjoy anything when it comes to life, let alone the small things like getting out of bed or walking down a flight of stairs. Whether it be hoping it'll just disappear or feeling like you've tried every other option, let me tell you, you haven't tried them all if you haven't tried QC Kinetics. This is Brad Nortman, and I have to tell you about my experience when I visited QC Kinetics at the Greenfield location. It was incredible to see with my own 2 eyes all the tools that they have to get you feeling your best and get rid of that pain for the long term. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. medicine, and they have cellular therapies that's going to get that pain away for the long term and get you living your best life again. Your pain-free life is waiting for you on the other side of calling QC Kinetics, because there is your free, no-pressure consultation where you can be evaluated, put on a personal plan of pain relief, and be able to tell if you're a good candidate for QC Kinetics. Grab the phone now and call QC Kinetics for that free consultation. Call them today at 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh, and we've all been feeling the heat, and if your home isn't staying cool, your windows might be the reason why. That's why now is the perfect time to call Universal Windows Direct. And Universal Windows Direct has an incredible offer to help you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there is no limit. And here's the part I really love. You'll get no interest for 5 whole years. Call 414-410-2000 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com, and trust me, once you feel the difference, you'll be saying what I say. I love my windows.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour discussing Zach Tom at center, and that it's been said, we don't know by which member of the Packers, how good he would be at center. What skill would he have? Did anybody, when you were playing, did you ever hear a report Bryan Bulaga could be just a fantastic center?
No, absolutely not. I know I wouldn't be a good center.
Why not?
Because I wouldn't be. I mean,
what? We believe you could do anything. We don't believe you'd be a great quarterback. But aside from that, linebacker, tight end, any offensive line, defensive line, I got you in for all of those.
Well, first, like the center position, like the great ones that I played with, like obviously Jason mentioned them, Wells and Lindsley, like how they played with leverage and how good they were with maintaining their leverage, and obviously they weren't 6'5". I mean, they were, shorter guys from a football standpoint, not regular standpoint. But when you're able to maintain that leverage, you're able to move 330-pound men off the ball by yourself and work laterally down the line and cut them off and snap the ball at the same time. That's not really a skill that I have to maintain that leverage to move those guys off the ball. Like, that's just not something that...
So maybe that's what they see that Tom has, and that really impresses them, because even as good as Bryan Bulaga was at right tackle, never thought he could play center because of the things that you just said. That skill, would you agree, is rare for right tackles, or maybe I'm making that up? I mean, what you just said...
Well, yeah, I mean, and Tausch would probably agree with this too. I mean, he and I have talked about it. I mean, the hardest block in probably up with the offensive line is reaching a shade for a center. Like the guy that's a nose tackle right on your nose, you got to reach him. And on an outside zone or inside zone, you got to cut him out of the gap, and it's very hard to do, and without getting driven back into the quarterback and stepping on the quarterback.
But given what you told me about Zach Tom, you can tell me he can fly, and I believe it's possible. So I'm not surprised if he might have that skill. Are you?
I don't know. Like, okay. I can't say that he'd be able to do that or not. Like, I don't know. I can't trust anyone that says he could do it without me seeing he could do it.
But you're, I'm sure, explaining exactly the skill that person must think he has.
Absolutely.
What you're talking about is pretty basic offensive line discussion.
Yes. If you can't reach a shade as a center, you can't do it.
All right. He'll cover the JV game. I'm not sure if I'll watch it or not. Bryan Bulaga, Homer Hour, ESPN National next.
All right, slow speeds on 43 southbound coming in from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to about Lincoln. Northbound's going to be slowing down